University of Minnesota. Do you guys know I never started a college basketball game? I always came off the bench. But it taught me a valuable lesson, that another business principle is that you must carve out a niche and own it. What is your company's niche, and do you own it? I became the top 6 man in the country. I carved out a niche, and I became the best in the world at what I do. Here's my challenge for your respective company. Have you carved out a niche in the marketplace, and do you own it? The only reason I do 100 programs a year, the only reason I answer the phone and take orders is because I've carved out a niche. Everyone would love to have Magic Johnson and Joe Theismann at their conference. But everybody doesn't want to always pay Magic Johnson and Joe Theismann money. So I carved out a niche. If you want a charismatic, dynamic speaker who actually has some business content you can go back to work and use, who kind of looks like Magic, who do you call? You call me. I've carved out a niche, and I own it. Had a financial service company book me for 30 events. I told my speaker friends, they didn't believe me. And I teach them. You know what your problem is, dude? You watch the news too much. You throw too many pity parties, and you're not mentally tough. My senior year rolled around. Willie Burton and Richard Coffey went right into the NBA. Even though I never started in college, my senior year, I was a preseason All Big Ten selection. I carved out such a niche as a 6 man that the conference selected me as a first-team All Big Ten selection. So even though I never started, all I had to do was have one good year, my senior year, and I could walk right into the NBA and join my teammates. But unfortunately, the first game of my senior year, I broke my foot. I came back in 6 weeks and broke my foot a second time. My college career was over. I got offered a job to become a hospital administrator. Starting salary, $75,000. And here's how I got the job. Because somebody liked me. The likability factor is the best kept secret in business. Don't you dare hire another person who's not likable. I don't care what that resume says. I don't care what that background is. The likability factor is the best kept secret in business. In your kind of industry, the likability factor is king. I do 100 programs a year, and 20% of my customers say the same thing. Walter, we booked you because of your smile. We like the way you smile. I left sports. I thought business was so complicated. I followed you. You had a cell phone on your hip, so I went and got me a cell phone on my hip. You went to Starbucks every morning, so I started going to Starbucks. Can I have a vanilla almond latte soy, 96 degrees, please, no phone? And after a while, I began to realize, man, these professionals don't pay attention to detail. These professionals are not trying to be the best in the world at what they do. And all of a sudden, I began to break away and figure out for myself how this business world really operates. The likability factor is the #1 skill set that your agents and advisors better possess. Likable people are people magnets. Does that make sense? When Coach Haskins left our house, the first question my mom, dad, and I asked, hey, what did we think? Did we like him? When your agent leaves a person's home, that's the first question that couple will ask before you even get back in your car, before you even start the engine. They'll ask themselves, hey, what did we think? Did we like him? What did we think? Did we like her? If the answer is, does that conversation go to the next level? No, it dies there. When Coach Haskins left our house, it was unanimous. Oh my God, we oh, wow, did you like him? Oh, I love him. He's from Kentucky. My daddy was like, whoa, he's a country boy from down south. And for me, I was like, man, I like him. He said I was the key to turning his program around. Coach Haskins never heard the word no. Because when he left our house, we knew him, we liked him, and we trusted him. When people know you, like you, and trust you, they can't say no. I almost never hear the word no because every day I cut off the news and I make sure people in my marketplace know me, like me, and trust me. And as a result of people knowing me, liking me, and trusting me, I just take orders. In your industry, please understand the power of being mentally tough and making sure all your agents and advisors in that marketplace, everyone knows you, likes you, and trusts you. If they know you, like you, and trust you, they can't say no. I found an organization who never hears the word no. If you never heard the word no, you would have a closet full of Tommy Bahama shirts. If you never heard the word no, your wife would walk around with bling, 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 bling. I found an organization that never hears the word no. They're a bunch of girls 4 feet tall. Who are they? The Girl Scouts, man. Those little girls are sales assassins. They never hear the word no. You can have a no solicitation sign on your doorbell, and these little girls are bold enough to still ring your doorbell. You will bounce a check before you turn a Girl Scout away. Why? Because we know them, we like them, and we trust them. So my senior year started, I broke my foot twice, and right before I took this job, my daddy called me on the phone, and he asked me a question. He said, son, do you believe you're an NBA player? Huh? Do you believe you're an NBA player, son? But Dad, I never started in college. But Dad, I have a screw on my foot. But Dad, I never started a game in college. But. And all of a sudden, I said but so many times, I heard God's voice. God spoke to me. At least I think it was God, but it was a voice. I said but 30 times in a 5-minute conversation, and all of a sudden I heard this voice. It said this, but, Walter, all but stink. It's the title of my book, available in the hallway after today's program. Every time you hear the word but, everything after it is an excuse. My father changed my perspective by merely asking a question. He said, son, do you believe you're an NBA player? As a leader, as a manager, stop telling people what to do and start asking questions. When you ask a person a question, it can change their perspective. I remember being a little boy, running to my daddy for him to pick me up. Pick me up, daddy. Pick me up, daddy. My daddy was 6'6". I love when he picked me up because when he picked me up, I could see the world the way he saw it. When he picked me up, he could change my perspective. Right before I took that job, my daddy changed my perspective by merely asking a question. Walter, do you believe you can play in the NBA? Even though my daddy couldn't pick me up physically anymore, he was always there to pick me up emotionally. He could always change my perspective. That is the job of leaders. It's not to micromanage. It's not to boss people around. Your job is to change their perspective. My daddy changed my perspective by asking a question. He said, son, do you believe you can play in the NBA? I said, yeah. He said, son, you could work the rest of your life, right? Do you want to live life with regrets? I said, Dad, you're right. I can work the rest of my life. I'm going to go for it. With the cast on my foot, I limped into my coach's office. I said, Coach Haskins, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? My eligibility was up. I was just a reserve as a college athlete. I said, Coach Haskins, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? Every year you voted me most improved player. Every year I got bigger. Every year I got stronger. Every year I got faster. Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? With tears in his eyes, he said, son, you should be a motivational speaker. I said, Coach, I can talk the rest of my life. And I will. But Coach, I got to be close. What do I need to do to play in NBA? I'm not afraid to ask the important people in my life, what do I need to do to get bigger, stronger, and faster? Not only did Coach Haskins coach me as a basketball coach, he helped coach me in life. He said, son, if you do 2 things, you can play in NBA. You can do 2 things, you can play in NBA. I think you should be a motivational speaker, son, but that's fine. I understand. But if you do 2 things, you can play in the NBA. Lose 20 pounds and shoot the 3-point shot with range, you can play in the NBA. My coach is still blessing me to this day.